Hello again everyone, welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host Derailious, and today we're going to be back on the Alpha Network for Diana v2, as there were a ton of really solid changes, yet there aren't any patch notes at the moment. Before we begin, I just want to say please make sure to like and subscribe down below, as it really helps out the channel a lot. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. It really does help a lot no matter what you're picking up. I get a small kickback and it really is appreciated. Without any further ado though, let's get started. Currently, there are no patch notes for these changes, so we are just going to have to go off of a forum post made by Georic. So thank you so much, Georic. I appreciate it. And let's get started here. The first change is one that I think a lot of people are really going to like. Now, the mythological mobs no longer take knockback, meaning if you're meleeing them, it's going to be way easier. You won't just knock them all over the place. They won't have the potential to just fly off the map. Things will just be flatly way better. Another change that they've made is related to the armor sets. Notably, as you can see, they now have the ability Mythos Might, which means that you get double the armor's stats in the hub during Diana's mythological ritual. This also applies for the Mythos armor itself, which is very, very nice to see. It's going to make it a lot stronger. Another thing I wanted to bring up here is actually related to the armor itself. If I put on a full set of it, for example, you can see I now get 20 Magic Find on mythological mobs and a reduced damage of 20%. I believe both of these are doubled from what they were before. This armor set is way stronger now when paired with the Derailious blade. If you end up maxing it out, you can do very similar amounts of damage to using, for example, Infernal Crimson armor in the hub, which is very nice to see. People are actually going to want to use this now, and I imagine it will be used more often than stuff like Sorrow for Magic Find purposes, because you are going to be getting the double amount of Magic Find. They've also made a few other changes here. Notably, they've done some smaller changes to the equipment as well. As you can see, you get more coins from killing mythological mobs. I believe that's been buffed as well. And on top of that, whenever you get coins from a burrow, now the actual coin buffs that you would get from other things are applied to the burrows as well, which should lead to more coins from every single burrow you get, which is very nice to see. On top of that, the reduced damage taken from mythological mobs now goes all the way to 25% if you're going to have all 8 pieces on. I don't at the moment because I have the Golden Fleece as well as the Manticore Claw, but if you were to have all 8 pieces, you would get 25% reduced damage. The Manticore Claw as well got a change. It's now plus 2.5 attack speed instead of 2, but it's also lost its pet luck. So keep that in mind, that is a change there. There are also a couple changes related to the Griffin pet. I don't have mine maxed, which is my fault, but as you can see, there is now bonus attack speed on the Griffin. This will go up to 25% instead of 25 health regen, which didn't really make a lot of sense. Also, King of Kings is now back on the Griffin, giving you Magic Find on mythological mobs, meaning that you actually have a reason to use your Griffin. Another smaller change is to the textures here related to the new shards. They got these new patchwork looking colors on them. I think it looks pretty cool. It's kind of interesting to see. It seems like the shards are made of, I guess, the patchwork of the mobs themselves. Very interesting that they went with this style instead of the usual just mob head style, but I do think it gives it a uniqueness that other shards don't have. For the last change, we have the Anguish artifact, which got a new piece of lore text, as you can see, and it's "Why are we still here, just to suffer?" Wonderful reference there. But that about does it in terms of changes for the event. To be honest, I think they did a great job on a lot of these changes. It definitely feels like this armor set is capable of competing with Infernal. As well, it feels like the Derailious blade actually works now. Previously on the alpha, it was doing basically no damage. I've heard people say that you can actually get a ton of DPS if you have 2 of these, and one of them you put One for All on, of all things. So if you have one of these, you put One for All on it, you do a bunch of damage, and then you swap to your actual one, because you want the looting, obviously, and all the other Magic Find related things. Then you're going to be able to get quite a bit of both Magic Find and damage. I imagine that might become a popular thing to have 2 of these in your hotbar. But regardless, definitely interesting that there is some level of variance here. Overall, with all the buffs here, the mobs in the mythological ritual event should be way easier to deal with at a higher level. You should be able to use your Mythos armor to just completely destroy them, which is very nice to see. We're going to get some more Magic Find out of it. It seems like you won't need to swap to things like Sorrow, for example. That won't really be a problem. Very excited to see many of the changes here. Just kind of wondering why they weren't put in a patch note format. Maybe they're still working on it, who knows. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the update down below, and look to the future, fellas. I'll see you then.